How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Quake by the Lake, from tonight, which is August 12th, 2022. I gotta say it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Dante Martin and Sky Blue for the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello went over and retained the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles cause Ty Mello pinned Sky Blue with the Ty KO. Match 2, it was Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Parker Boudreaux went over with the side suplex. Match 3, it was the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn versus Eric Redbeard and Danhausen. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Gun Club went over cause Austin Gunn pinned Danhausen with the Famouser. Well, after the match, Billy Gunn came into the ring with a microphone and said, "Damn, is that all you all got? No wonder the fans call you the ass boys. No wonder I missed the Acclaimed. You boys gotta toughen up, because that right there was bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you all got a match on Dynamite this coming Wednesday. And you better prove to me that you're gonna do better and that you're not gonna do this horrendous bullshit like you're doing right now and everything." And then Billy Gunn left and went backstage, and the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, went back and got out of the ring, and Stokely Hathaway was in the crowd and offered the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, a business card, but the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, went backstage as well. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And match 4, which was the main event, it was Orange Cassidy versus Ari Daivari. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Orange Cassidy went over with the Orange Punch. Now, after the match, Slim J attacked Orange Cassidy and beat the shit out of him. Then the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, got a hold of Slim J and threw him out of the ring. Then Parker Boudreaux came into the ring and beat the shit out of the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, and laid him out. Then Orange Cassidy got up, and a stare down between Orange Cassidy and Parker Boudreaux ensued, and then Sonny Kiss came into the ring and acted like he was siding in with Orange Cassidy and going up against Parker Boudreaux, but Sonny Kiss executed a low blow to Orange Cassidy, and then Parker Boudreaux executed the side suplex to Orange Cassidy and laid him out, and so Sonny Kiss and the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, and so Sonny Kiss and the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, Slim J, and Parker Boudreaux, stood tall, while Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, were laid out and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way, and that was match 4 in the main event, by the way. Now, besides all that, Tony Schiavone interviewed Bryan Danielson. Well, Tony Schiavone brought up about Daniel Garcia making comments about Bryan Danielson, about how he's a washed-up has-been, and how he's the Dragon Slayer and everything. And then Bryan Danielson was talking about how he's been in the how he's been in the business of professional wrestling for 23 years, and talked about how he was willfully not going to retire and everything, and talked about how Daniel Garcia was talented and everything, and then talked about how he was going to kick Daniel Garcia's ass and everything. And as Bryan Danielson continued to talk, Daniel Garcia came out and talked about how Bryan Danielson was his hero, and talked about how his hero disappointed him day in and day out, and talked about how he was a has-been, and talked about how his hero has hurt him, and if anybody hurts him, he hurts them, and talked about how Bryan Danielson retires and comes back, and repeats the process and everything, and talked about how Bryan Danielson can't keep doing that to him and everything. And then Daniel Garcia was going on about how he was a sports entertainer and everything, and then Bryan Danielson was talking about how Daniel Garcia is talented, and how he considered him when he first started the Blackpool Combat Club and everything, and talked about how Chris Jericho has been feeding him the sports entertainment bullshit, and talked about Daniel Garcia being a talented professional wrestler, and talked about how he was going to kick Daniel Garcia's ass and everything. And then Bryan Danielson left the ring and went backstage while Daniel Garcia was still in the ring looking on and everything. That was cool. AEW aired highlights of the return of CM Punk, and when CM Punk dismantled the Jericho Appreciation Society. AEW aired highlights of the return of CM Punk on AEW Dynamite's special event, Quake by the Lake. That was cool. The Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo, along with Alex Abrahantes, cut a promo. Well, Rey Fenix was talking about how him and his brother, Penta El Zero Miedo, were once again going after AEW Gold and everything, and then Penta El Zero Miedo translated something in Spanish, and Alex Abrahantes said, Penta says, Andrade, you may be in the AEW Trios title tournament, but so are we, because the AEW All-Atlantic Champion Pac is returning home and is going to team with us in this tournament, and the Death Triangle are going to be the first ever AEW Trios champs and everything. That was cool. The Andrade family office, which are Andrade El Idolo, Jose the Assistant, the Butcher, the Blade, the Bunny, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, and Roosh were backstage, and Andrade El Idolo introduced Roosh to the Butcher, the Blade, and Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. Well, Roosh was talking about how it was nice to meet the Butcher and the Blade, but he didn't give a shit about Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and everything. And then Isaiah Cassidy got pissed off and got in the face of Andrade El Idolo. Well, Isaiah Cassidy was talking about how Andrade El Idolo has slept on him and has slept on Private Party since day one, and Andrade El Idolo was saying, Isaiah, relax. Roosh, Dragon Lee, and myself, we're going to be the first ever AEW Trios champs. And I have gotten you and Mark Quinn a shot at the AEW Tag Team titles and everything. And then Isaiah Cassidy was saying, it's all good, Andrade, because that's what Mark Quinn and I are going to do. We're going to take out Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, and win the AEW Tag Team titles and everything. That was cool. Lexi Nair interviewed Swerve in Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Well, Lexi Nair brought up about Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, issuing a challenge to Swerve in Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, for the AEW Tag Team titles. Well, Keith Lee was talking about how when he first came to AEW, he dismantled both Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, and was making fun of them and everything. And then Swerve Strickland was talking about how him and Keith Lee accept Private Party's challenge and will put the AEW Tag Team titles on the line and everything. And then Swerve Strickland said his line, "Whose house? Swerve's house," and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Hook. Well, Tony Schiavone brought up about Hook becoming the FTW champion and how they followed his career in AEW within a short time, and then Tony Schiavone brought up and asked Hook. Tony Schiavone asked Hook, is the FTW title for all open challengers? Hook said, "Yup." And then Tony Schiavone was getting ready to talk some more, but Zach Clayton came out with a microphone and said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Enough. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the reality, Zach Clayton. And Hook, you want to be tough guy New Yorker? I am challenging you for the FTW title. And I would fight you tonight, but I'm getting new boots ready. And they're not ready yet. So how about we do it in my hometown, my home state of New Jersey? Or better yet, how about we do it next week, 1 week from tonight, on Rampage?" And then Hook accepted the challenge and everything, and then Hook and Zach Clayton had a stare down and everything. That was cool. And Mark Henry interviewed Orange Cassidy along with the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, and Ari Daivari along with the Trust Busters, which are Slim J and Parker Boudreaux. Well, Mark Henry asked Ari Daivari. Well, Mark Henry brought up to Ari Daivari saying, "Ari Daivari, Wednesday on Dynamite, you offered Orange Cassidy a spot in the Trust Busters. What do you see in him?" Ari Daivari said, "Mark, I tried to appoint Orange Cassidy in the Trust Busters because Orange Cassidy, I see potential in him. He's one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the modern era of professional wrestling. But Orange Cassidy, you want to hang out with those losers of the Best Friends, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor? Go right ahead. Because tonight, I am going to show you why you never turned down an offer from the Trust Busters and everything." And then Orange Cassidy was getting ready to say, "Well, looks like it's been enough talk." Then Mark Henry said, "Orange, that's my line." And then Mark Henry said his signature line, "Well, looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event," and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Stephon Smith. Wait a minute, sorry. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay, Rick Knox refereed the match between Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Dante Martin and Sky Blue for the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles. That was Rick Knox, by the way. Paul Turner refereed the match between Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Gun Club versus Eric Redbeard and Dan Housen. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Orange Cassidy versus Ari Daivari. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night, it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. The Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, and a mystery partner versus Andrade El Idolo, Rush, and Dragon Lee in an AEW Trios title quarterfinal match. The Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, versus the Varsity Blondes, which are Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, and Tony Storm versus Kylan King. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite that's been announced so far for Wednesday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to be there live, and it's going to be awesome. And the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage Friday night that's been announced so far, it's going to be Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, versus Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy for the AEW Tag Team titles. Hook versus Zach Clayton for the FTW title. And Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, versus the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, Slim J, and Parker Boudreaux, and an AEW Trios title quarterfinal match. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage that's been announced so far for Friday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to be there live for their tapings, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Quake by the Lake. Like I said, it was awesome. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.